What is up, everybody? Alrighty, am I live? Oh yeah, what is up, everybody? Yeah, there's a few things I forgot to talk about yesterday on my last live stream. I want to talk about this little beef going on between Paul Joseph Watson and Lauren Southern, who made a comeback yesterday, moving herself from like that cultural war, like right wing shit, into like being more of a moderate because she became a parent. I mean, that's all understandable, but man, Paul Joseph Watson, man, like he is really showing some really beta ex-boyfriend energy here. I mean, take a look at this. Right-wing YouTuber suddenly returns, claiming to be a nuanced centrist, having disappeared at the exact point where everyone else was fucked over and banned for the last 18 months. Having thrown them under the bus by funding the very possible responders that inauthentic. And then Lauren Sutter shared Paul Joseph Watson's private. Look at this shit, man. This shit looks thirsty, man. This is pointed. You can't answer. So pathetic. Jesus. He's saying the name Jesus. And then, like, in the words of Greta Thunberg, how dare you? Fuck off. Leave me alone. Thought higher of you after the bid. I've been to jail, man. Otherwise, fuck off. Oh, man. He's really going at it against Lord Sutter. Like, it ain't, yeah, he ain't done yet. Just like when he lost it when Piers Morgan blocked him. Paul Joseph Watson tend to goes on these little meltdowns, but he claimed there aren't meltdowns. But you can clearly tell just by his language and all that, like this dude is really mad. He's really losing it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like some black guy saying, man, the next YouTube boxing card will be H3 versus Keemstar. Paul Joseph Watson versus Lauren Southern. And oh boy, what's going on here between Anthony Fantano and the Quarter, man? I gotta give the Quarter and props, man. He showed my video getting copyright strike by Susie Liu. I'm really glad he highlighted me in one of his videos, man. I gotta give much love to Quarter, man. He's a good dude, but this dude Paul Joseph Watson losing, man. Like this dude saying like, this thought Lord Southern challenged me, yet ended up deleting literally all of her tweets because she's a fraud. I respect people stand by their positions with the left and right. She doesn't have the fortitude. Oh man, such a narcissistic, mean-spirited person. I didn't even think this was. Let's look at this tweet by the left monster. This is just funny. Oh man. Oh, why won't you fuck me, Lord? Why did you grow that disgusting baby? Oh man, they got the nerve to say he had these fast Lauren Southern in front of everybody, even in front of like most likely her husband or baby daddy, man. He really sounds like a bitter ex-boyfriend right now. He's showing a whole lot of bitter ex-boyfriend type energy. I mean, look at him, man. He calling North Southern inauthentic fucking pussy bitch. That is some angry stalker boyfriend type energy, man. Oh, but look at this. I mean, even his own fan base has turned against PJW. I had to fix that keyboard. Let me see who's on here right now. Yo, what's up to my one viewer? Much love to y'all. I'm doing this live stream early today. I'll probably do one a little later tonight, like around 8 Pacific. 7:50, 8 Pacific, yeah. You'll get another Clemmedia live. But yeah, let's look at Paul Joseph Watson's own followers turning on him. Look at it. Whoa, Paul, what happened to you, man? His own fans, his own followers are turning against him. Yeah, exactly, man. This is coming across as like a bitter ex-boyfriend. PJW is showing Trumpian level energy, and people, like, it even turned off his fans. Like, man, this dude, man, this dude's lost it. That's funny. Paul is going from alt right to incel rather quickly. Whoa, misogynist is much there. Uh, Paul Joseph Watson was always at that level. To be real with you, PJW is very anti-Islam, almost like Islamophobic, man. The shit he said about like Islam, man. That's getting close to like really being alt right there. Seriously, he's really anti-Islam. But I do agree with Paul Joseph Watson, especially like free speech, like anti-war, like we agree on those type of terms, and you know what I'm saying, keeping Western culture afloat. But otherwise, the guy pretty much is all light. He fully is. And then there's rumors like he's Zionist because he doesn't really call out Israel and their yeah, Palestine, how they're treating that Palestinians and all that. Please take it private. Look at this reaction. Oh man, this dude with the Churchill sign saying unfollow, grow up. Cause they see Paul George Washington acting like a straight up child, man. The dude is showing really bad simp energy, man. He's being oh man, his own fan base turned against him. Look at her. Look at this man's reaction. Like, oh, cringe. Oh, trick. Oh man, this is funny. Oh man, his followers turned against him. Oh man, that's the way I'm feeling right now, man. The right wing crazes are fighting it, and I am enjoying this popcorn. Right when the left is having their own cultural revolution, taking down all kinds of statues. I'm going to highlight those articles later. It's getting out of hand. More fast on fast violence, please. Damn, who would have thought PJW was a psycho? As I'm sorry, with Lauren. Oh man, he's definitely very drunk. He had the same type of meltdown on Piers Morgan when Piers Morgan blocked his ass. Then he says like, "Man, I am so handsome. I am one of the most handsome people in the world." This is your brain on Infowars. Dude, chill out. He's hot. Actually, he's harassing her. Oh man. Okay. Oh, I was supposed to grip the magic my shot. Oh man, he's losing a lot of respect with his fan base now, man, for his attacks on Lauren Sutter, man. Like, she really triggered Paul Joseph Watson. Like, I heard some rumors like Lawrence Southern like help funded Hope Not Hate. Like, there's a big rumor around there, but it's not really confirmed. But yeah, Paul Joseph Watson is showing some really stalkerish ex-boyfriend energy. And look at this. Paul Joseph Watson's fan base putting Lawrence Sutter's fan up blast the only way they know how. Stop simping. They really think they're alpha males, dog. They really think they're like alpha males defending Western society and shit. But I bet you most of these cats are like incels, man. They're incels just like PJW is. No, I don't think Peter is an incel, but yeah. But yeah. Yep, I feel like Daniel Collins, man. Paul Joseph Watson versus Lawrence Sutter is a 2020 feud that I was expecting. Yeah, I mean, Lawrence Sutter just made a surprising comeback on YouTube after being out for years. I mean, she moved away from like hardcore culture war type stuff into making like documentaries, and she had a baby, and she decided to come back as some type of moderator. Yeah, let me click on it. Yeah, they gotta work on the organization a little bit. I'll be honest with you. But yeah, it was an interesting tidbit that I missed out yesterday. I mean, there's like so much news going on right now, man. This is, man, the Tulsa thing. I mean, The Last of Us 2. I mean, Kyrie Irving like wanting to cancel the NBA. I mean, shit has been going out of control for the last couple of days. It's just been an insane news cycle. Let me see who is on here now. Alright, still got that one viewer. But here's Lawrence Sutter's return video. I'll just show little bits and pieces of it. I'm not gonna show the full video. But it is kind of odd. Like, we're having a cultural revolution right now, and one of the biggest voices of the right is moving moderate. That is kind of off. There's something off there. There's something really off there. But
and
like,
wow,
I mean, everybody's grifting.
Things
you know what I'm
have
saying?
really gone off the rails since I've been gone.
The World Health Organization has declared coronavirus a global pandemic.
We begin today with the US and Iran on the brink. Terrifying scale of Australia.
I'm gonna move this video up.
Realize that the migrants we sat with in the camps and on the shores of Turkey that were taking dinghy boats to what they saw and believed was going to be a better life promised to them by traffickers and politicians, that was a human
looks like
story,
she's gaining a heart
human
now.
struggle worthy of being told. The same human struggle that I've always recognized amongst people in Europe who feared the loss of their culture and the economic and social impacts to change in their home. Too often in media, it is treated as if these experiences are mutually exclusive. And I used to have this perspective as well, that because the mainstream media or the leftist media was already telling one side of the story, that it was my job to tell the other. But in reality, it should be everyone's job to show both. And just because you see others not doing it doesn't mean you should partake in a childish tit for tat. Otherwise, you're not going to get the real story at all.
I mean, she actually makes a good point here. I mean, there's always both sides of the story.
You need a full picture in order to come to meaningful, insightful conclusions. And this is one of the big reasons that I've decided to come back now. I am seeing absolute chaos going on in the world and very little room for nuance or genuine, thoughtful content. Our news is getting summed up by spliced Twitter videos made to promote one cause or another, name-calling, doxing, hashtag wars. It's really hard to watch. And I really believe that people are longing for a more sober approach, because the world is a lot more complex than just all cops bad, all cops good, post black square or you're a racist, or black people are all just looters and rioters. I'm not some radical centrist here, but I think we all know deep down these massive cultural issues have human stories.
I mean, she's making a good point. I mean, I think honestly, I think like having a baby like matured her a little bit and got her like away from like the hardcore right wing culture war type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like she started to feel like empathy for the other side. And Paul Joseph Watson flipping out on her really showed his character, especially calling her a pussy ass. Oh man, I'm probably not gonna get monetization for this video. A pussy ass bitch. Wow, he really went there, man. That is some misogynistic language, man. I mean, that's some stuff a rapper would say, man. You pussy ass bitch. It wouldn't even sound right in a British accent calling her a pussy ass bitch. Like, it would sound right like you bloody wanker, you fucking tosser. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. I really think PJW was drunk when he's tweeting all this shit. But yeah, talking about protesters staring on statues, they tore down the Ulysses and Grant statue. He fought against the Confederacy in the Civil War. So yeah, this ain't about like slave owners or the Confederacy and all that. It's about erasing American history. It's about erasing white men, basically. This whole movement is basically to erase white patriarchy. So basically they can like create a new equal type of world. This is some communist bullshit. But yeah, they tear down the statues of President Grant in San Francisco. I mean, pretty much like this is being done in all these far left cities ran by far left mayors who basically are allowing this to happen.
Protesters in San Francisco on Friday toppled a statue of former President Ulysses S. Grant, who led the Union Army during the Civil War, in Golden Gate Park. San Francisco police said that around 400 people gathered around 8 p.m. to take the statue down, though no arrests were made, according to NBC Bay Area. Also torn down in the park on Friday were the statues of St. Junipero Serra and Francis Scott Key, who wrote the lyrics of the Star-Spangled Banner.
Seriously, this is just anti-American. I mean, let's keep it 100. I mean, like, a lot of this shit is really just anti-American history. I mean, even like, California history, because Junipero Serra was a Spanish priest. Why take down Junipero Serra? California's history is different from the rest of the U.S. because California was originally a Spanish colony, then became a Mexican state, which was taken over from the U.S. after the 1848 Mexican War. Like, a lot of these left-wing activists don't get that or didn't learn that at school because our public education and university system is pure garbage. It's pure left-wing socialistic garbage. Yeah, because as you see in the story, on social media,
streaming on
videos
Bay Area, we have breaking news.
Sorry about that. On social media, videos are posted showing a group of protesters toppling Junipero Serra statues, cheers erupted from the crowd.
Bay Area,
Stolen land was spray painted. These people are idiots. I mean, these dumbasses don't realize that Native Americans came from Asia. They came from there was no indigenous people. Even the indigenous, like the Native Americans and all that, they came from Asia. They came from the land bridge. There is no indigenous people. Come on, man. In history, it was always like the conquered and the conqueror and the conquered. Basically, the guy who had the most guns won. That's simple fact of life. But these dipshit leftists don't really get that. They're on some little crusade to make everything more equal, more equality. But they don't really get how communist revolutions work, because these cats will be the first ones killed. They'll be sent to the gulag and taken out. But when you mention that to them, like, oh no, that's not real communism. Isn't it real communism? Just fucking morons. What the fuck? Oh my god, this generation, man. Just stupid, man. This is going to cause a huge backlash against the far left, man. all of these dumbasses doing is helping Donald Trump's re-election chances by taking down historical figures. I mean, what does Junipero Serra have to do with black slavery? This has nothing to do with George Floyd anymore. This is just a cultural revolution. This is just a neo-Maoist cultural revolution. And here's what the San Francisco Arts Commission statement is. At this important time in our country, we are examining the ways in which institutional and structural racism permeate in our society. Public art is no exception. In cities across the U.S., many historic monuments are taken down because the action ideas symbolize representation. This is some woke nonsense. These are the people that are behind this. That's why it's pretty much happening, because it's being allowed by the city government. Because if you look at there was Philly, South Philly, like the Columbus statue was going down, but there was heavy pushback by the South Philly Italians. And South Philly Italians aren't people you want to. South Philly Italians aren't people you want to mess with, because they are some hardcore There's some hardcore cats, man. I want to go to it right now. South Philly Columbus statue. Yeah, like there was actual tension there. Like there was actually tension there between like the South Philly Italians who want to keep their keep the statue for the legacy of Christopher Columbus, and basically neo-Maoists who want to tear this down.
Protesters and counter-protesters stayed out here near Marconi Plaza for hours tonight. At times, police had to step in because it got heated and had to separate the two groups. This all started after a protest for a Philadelphia police captain. A woman walked down Broad Street with a sign about cops that some didn't appreciate. It was quickly slapped out of her hand.
It's getting wild.
Moments before, another heated
that time of the year again, you know what I'm saying? You gotta have all these racial strife stories to get black folks motivated to vote for Democrats against these evil white supremacists.
Getting paid to come down here and attack us. We're called vigilantes. We're not vigilantes. We're protectors.
It was a far different scene in South Philly about an hour earlier. A show of love for Captain Campione. The crowd waved signs with his face on it and chanted his name. The former 1st District captain has been reassigned to another department, to the anger and disbelief of hundreds here at Marconi Plaza.
We love you. We miss you.
This all happened in the shadows of the controversial Christopher Columbus statue. Workers began covering it up this morning. The monument is now all boxed up, and we're told it's not going anywhere for now.
I'm here as a journalist.
And you're inciting a riot.
I'm here as a journalist. You're saying I'm inciting a riot as a journalist?
Yes, sir.
A few days ago, Campione was captured on video by a Unicorn Riot reporter as some in South Philly stood guard outside the Christopher Columbus statue. Philly police released a statement saying Campione's change of command was one of several command changes that were made. He is currently assigned to standards and accountability. The command changes were not related to any specific incident.
They're asking for police reform all over the country. Captain Lou doesn't have incidents. Captain Lou knows how to handle a crowd. Captain Lou knows how to deal with the community no matter who they are.
A few more small skirmishes broke out throughout the night. Aaron Baskerville, NBC 10 News.
And I guarantee you, most of these cats are Democrats. They're the old school Catholic Union Labor Democrats. You see, the party of the Democrats changed a lot in the last, 20-some years, ever since Clinton took over. Like, they moved away from, union trade to more, cultural type stuff. And the new left is basically secular, secular. basically social justice, yeah, basically yeah, social equality type of people. And these people are like the old school labor people, and like these are classic. These aren't Republicans. These are Democrats. I gotta tell you, these are Democrats because Philly is a heavily Democratic city, and these folks are pushing back on the radicals who just want to take down all the historical figures because they were racist colonizers. Basically, they're trying to remake a new world. But folks who still love American history, left, just cannot stop. These social justice free. I'm not talking about the left in general. I'm talking about the activists, identity politics, like the woke left. They just can't stop. And here's an article about Last of Us 2. What's the problem here exactly? And you can tell from this guy, he's probably one of those woke type of folks, you know what I'm saying? One of those college educated social justice type folks. And you can look at the article. It's still one of my favorite games of all time. Rip cutscenes and controversy, new awards proven and didn't rise. When The Last of Us 2 was the best games of generation level score, it is getting absurdly, obviously bombed in the 224 reviews. For context, the entire lifespan of The Last of Us 1 generated just over 9,000 user scores. If in 36 hours. Yeah, like folks have just turned against Last of Us 2 because it highlighted a few woke characters. Look at that. Oh, damn, they scored a goal in. Yeah, I was watching the Premier League game. Oh, goal score. Interesting. Look at that. 3.4. I mean, look at the discrepancy between the critic review and the God damn it, and the user score. This is Last Jedi level bad. Universal acclaim. I mean, basically, these are the normies pushing back on the video game media, which has been happening for the last 5 years, man. It's just 2016 all over again, man. Like these cultural war issues, man. It's just ridiculous. It's not like I really caught up with the game, man. I'm just talking about I'm not really a big fan of like these types of games, but just the social justice pushback, just the pushback against the social justice elements of the game, man. It's like, wow, man, it just keeps on happening. And I'm about to head to this Reddit right here, Kotaku in Action, which is basically the Gamergate subreddit. In the subreddit, I read every day, almost every day. Just about like how social justice lefts still keep on going, trying to remake the media into their image. And here is an article for opinion saying that The Last of Us 2 tries to be profound, it fails. Let's see this article here. I'm going to show y'all the article of The Last of Us 2 trying to be profound. And let's see who's watching me right now. Still got one viewer. Awesome. Yeah, let's get back here to The Last of Us 2. My computer's slow, sorry. Yeah. I'm sure y'all can read that. A week later, developer the categories again the active cinematic experience for fans from the Uncharted series. The home as Steven Spielberg's Indiana Jones. Last of Us follows Joel as they fought their way through a zombie. Yep. Basically, it hopped on the whole zombie trend started by The Walking Dead. It was like post-apocalyptic zombie shit all over the place after that show got big in the early 2010s. It ain't original at all. That's why I'm not really a big fan of these types of series. It's basically, just think of it like Resident Evil. It's basically another version of Resident Evil. Oh, Andy, no. I might talk about I want to talk about Seattle Chaz on the live stream later tonight, around 8 p.m. Pacific. Y'all can figure that out. And look at that. It seems appropriate that Last of Us 2 comes to the end of the console cycle. It'd be interesting to see if the next generation of cinematic games look beyond Hollywood for their inspiration, if they go reverse to Hollywood's mass market formula setting, theme, and character. Hollywood is dying. Coronavirus just made Hollywood irrelevant. I mean, seriously, it made celebrities irrelevant. It made the movie industry quite irrelevant. It made, like, movie theaters quite irrelevant. So, yeah, there's going to be a big change in the entertainment industry in the next couple of years. And with this backlash, there might be an end of this woke nonsense, but I don't know, man. It seems the wokeness is still going strong. Look at this comment. Killing the dog in The Last of Us 2 is an unavoided QTE. You're forced to watch a cutscene of the dog playing fetch and told to feel bad. Oh, look at that. Viewers are not allowed to review the second. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a problem I have with, like, the activist social justice left. I mean, I separate the left because there's still a free speech left, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's like I like Kyle Kalinske, I like Glenn Greenwald, Tim Pool. Tim Pool's moving to the right a lot, but I still like him. And Michael Tracy. Those four are bona fide leftists that I agree with a lot because they have a more libertarian lean to them. They're libertarian left. These cats are like authoritarian left. I mean, they're not for free speech. I mean, because they try to censor anything they agree with because they know they're wrong. They know they're wrong. I mean, because the thing is, like, when you try to have a conversation with these cats, they'll always trying to flip it. They're always trying to label you as something. Like, let me tell you what happened with me and this one social justice warrior. One time we had I was trying to tell him, man, well, like, what is the left done for black people? And he told me, like, oh, we gave you abortion rights. Abortion has killed more black people than the police has. Seriously, this is one of the biggest problems in our community. Like, we have a very high abortion rate compared to a lot of the population in the U.S. And a lot of those abortion clinics are in, like, inner city neighborhoods. But I'll go into that later. That'll be on another stream, like, later on. But yeah, as you can tell, like, the Japanese ain't really caught on with all this woke nonsense, and they're still making entertaining, great games. And look at that. Wikipedia censored Antifa involvement in riots, past violence. So it looks like Wikipedia is in cahoots with Antifa, just like the UN is. Could be who's funding Antifa, because I saw one of those flyers and it said Open Society Foundations. Google it. And look at this. Here's an article that says Last of Us 2 stars blame bots for negative reviews. These cats making excuses just because people just don't accept the social justice woke message. And look at this guy, Michael G. Williams. He just looks like the type of dude you just expect to be look at this dude, man. This dude is probably from like a college educated bubble, you know what I'm saying? Probably one of those small bubbles where everybody agrees with another. And like his hair is a hot mess. So you can tell like this by his facial expression, like he's probably not getting not getting all that action, man. He's like a reverse PJW, man. You can tell like you ain't getting no action, man. You ain't he's not really a popular type of guy. With the last two, I mean, I'm sorry to judge his appearance, but it just comes off that way. And now the two stars of the game are blaming the negativity on box. Yeah, it seems standard from the game. See, the games media is like the mainstream media. Basically, it's an echo chamber of activists who all agree with the same message. And basically, they tried to like echo chamber this thing into having it be in a high rated game, but normies told a whole different story. And so, taking it to Twitter, Shannon Witter, who voiced and did motion capture, wrote there's a lot of upset bots afoot today.